crypto scandals, issues in Congress, and even catfights. Argentina is in mayhem right now. Well, today we are going to discuss. It's been, a few weeks since we don't talk about Argentina. You know that on the newsletter, usually weekly, we cover Argentina amongst other issues, like tariffs. But today, let's catch up a little bit with Argentina. So we have several news. Since last time that we spoke about Argentina, we have to talk about the crypto scandal. We're going to reach into that. Also issues in Congress, riots on the streets of Buenos Aires, a flood that we got on a particular city, an important city, Bahia Blanca, that sadly has been, has caused damage and death to several people. We got the IMS and, well, several news about Argentina that we're going to try to cover. Just a quick update in order to stay, on point. Let's start. So the first thing, let's get this over with. We have to cover the crypto scandal with Milei and a rug pull that happened with a cryptocurrency that he endorsed. That particular crypto is called Libra. And this particular gentleman is the creator, is the guy involved. Apparently, he met Milei a few days ago, and Milei, according to the official statement, he thought that he's just an entrepreneur, that he is looking to invest in Argentina, and that's why he endorsed here on Twitter this particular cryptocurrency that will be something good for Argentina. And yet again, let's put here the textual statement from Milei on Twitter, X, that's his official account. And what happened afterwards, just a few hours later, that this particular crypto is just a meme coin. It was a rug pull, so you can see the chart here. So basically just a few people make a lot of money and the rest lost the entire money. However, the issue is that apparently most people affected were not Argentinian citizens, just a handful, so it didn't affect, the public, the Argentinian public, but, Milei got a lot of backlash, and that gave an excuse to the opposition, the left-leaning Peronistas in Argentina, in order to try to make an impeachment or something like that, take out Milei out of his charge, because, there's 1/3 of the population in Argentina that truly hates Milei. However, his popularity did not suffer any dent. Actually, Milei's popularity is over 50% before and after this particular incident. It's just that right now, some people, are more skeptical on, Milei's performance, and is completely valid. But right now, within Argentina, is not having any particular backlash. There was a particular session in Congress in order to try to impeachment or something like that, just to start an investigation for this thing. But apparently, it's not gonna happen. Has been a bunch of issues in Congress that we're gonna cover a little bit further. But first, many people were saying, even, the people who are anti-Milei, the left-leaning Peronistas, saying that maybe he's going to get an investigation on the FBI or something like that. But actually, he met both Donald Trump and Elon Musk just a few days afterwards. So no issue on that regarding the legal justice on the United States for now. And now let's go with Congress. A couple of things happened with Congress. It was a special session this week, the past week, on Wednesday. One of the things that is going to be voted is the investigation to Milei on the Congress. Remember that you have the House and you have the the Senate in Argentina, just like you have in the US. Well, the session on the House, it was basically declared that it was not significant attendance in order to actually vote for this particular resolution. And it was a mayhem between the people, from the government and their allies, and the opposition, the left-leaning Peronistas, and a handful of other left-leaning political parties. So we have these images here with the Congress, the House President, saying that, sorry, we cannot do anything about it. And that is creating a bunch of turmoil that got combined with protests that are, quote unquote, from retirees, so, senior citizens in Argentina, and we're going to explain a little bit more on that later. But we just have to mention that within that particular mayhem, within the Congress, we also had a catfight between a congresswoman from the same party, actually the libertarian right-wing party, La Libertad Avanza, and we had this particular lady, Lilia Lemoine, that she is actually one of the most notorious political figures right now in Argentina. She is, of course, from Milei's party, and she and another lady from the same party, they got a feud with a couple of other ladies of the same party, so we have a bunch of mayhem. And we also have to remember that this year we are going to have midterm elections in Argentina, and apparently La Libertad Avanza, Milei's party, is poised to take control of both chambers of Congress. Now let's go with the mayhem on the streets. Apparently, this protest was started by the retirees, the senior citizens that live off a pension in Argentina, and this is something very big. The pensions have been, according to them, not covering the basic necessities, but still they are being able to manage to create this protest. They do this all the time, by the way. In Argentina, you have a bunch of mass protests every now and then in front of the Congress. And the reason is that, during the Macri administration, that happened a lot. Remember, Macri was the president just between 2015 and 2019, and he was a quote-unquote right-wing, is more of a centrist politician. So the left-leaning Peronistas caused a bunch of protests against Macri, and that damaged his particular reputation and his, decision-making in Congress in order to pass the laws, in order to apply his quote-unquote political reforms, and so on. Now, every time that this thing happens, we remember, the people in Argentina remember the presidency of De la Rúa. De la Rúa was a president between the late 90s and the early 2000s that he applied several drastic reforms. The people were upset back then. It was a lot of mayhem and protests all over the country, especially in Buenos Aires. And he renounced, and we have this particular historical image of him just leaving, the palace on a helicopter. And apparently, the hardcore left-leaning anti-Milei movement want to create something similar in order to oust Milei from the presidency. So apparently, this particular protest between the quote-unquote old people, but many people on social media are putting that they are not senior citizens, they are actually young people, and they also combine it with the public, the hardcore fanatics of soccer in Argentina, that, in Argentina you have a bunch of local soccer teams that they have this kind of like this mass crowd hardcore supporters that usually after the games create mayhem, things like that. So the manifestants also put soccer t-shirts in order to say that they go from a soccer team, but actually it's a political team, not a soccer team. So everything combine, the quote unquote, the allegedly senior citizen protest plus the alleged soccer fanatic protest combine and cause mayhem. And actually, someone died. I believe a photographer died during the protest. And they destroyed property. According to some estimates, 414 million pesos. That's around 400,000 US dollars, something like that, on damage on public property. And several cars were ignited and set on fire, and trash cans, and the riot police had to step up. And also apparently a judge that has a left-leaning liberal tendency, Peronista tendency. She released the quote-unquote the violent manifestators that were put in custody. So we have all of these issues going on right now. But so Milei is still the president, of course, and we are up to the midterms, still several months away. But apparently all of this movement are generating yet again, and this is something that sadly I was worried about, some political instability. Now it's not, the end of the world, just protests and things like that, but let's see what ends up happening. Now let's go with the financial news. We got recently the inflation numbers from February in Argentina. It was 2.4%. A little bit less than expected. Remember that Argentina was poised to reach hyperinflation just a couple of years ago. And right now, the year-over-year rate is 67%. So the inflation has been reducing. This is on nominal terms on Argentinian pesos. But de facto, Buenos Aires and Argentina overall is more expensive because on USD terms, actually, you had a significant inflation on the past year, around, let's say, something between 200 and 300%. Also, some tariffs were eliminated and taxes from textile products in Argentina, announced by the economy minister, Toto Caputo. Also, the numbers, apparently now the fundamentals are decent. The country's risk premium, this is something that every economist in Argentina keeps an eye on. We can see it here on the chart. Is kind of stable. The Merval, the main financial index, looks actually positive, nothing wrong. The exchange rate between peso and US dollars still on normal ranges. So right now on economics, we are not seeing any significant bad news. Other issue that we have in Argentina right now is with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. A few weeks ago, Milei cut a deal with the IMF. Remember that Argentina has one of the largest debts to the IMF, around 40 billion US dollars. Apparently, it is a new deal, so there's going to be more money issued to Argentina that, according to Milei and Milei's government, is going to be used in order to settle already existing debts regarding the central bank. So the plan, with the information that we got, is Argentina is gonna cover these particular liabilities with the new money from the IMF, so that will cancel and liquidate the existing liabilities with the central bank. That, of course, is gonna create new liabilities. But apparently, the win on this particular deal is that it's going to be simplified the interest rate payments in order to service the new debt with the IMF. Apparently, that's how things work. Now, the main issue and the controversy is that the information is vague regarding the deal, regarding the interest rate from the new deal, the new agreement, and also the new amount from this new IMF deal. So other people are saying that there are concerns about this IMF new loan in order that is going to be used in order to just keep the Argentinian peso, the local currency, artificially strong in order to, have nice numbers to show off. So I'm not saying that's the case, but some people, reasonable people have this reasonable doubt about the real situation of the debt. Also, we have to talk about the exchange rate cap that we have in Argentina. So basically, there is an FX barrier. You cannot legally exchange your money, let's say your Argentinian pesos, to hard currency. That has been going on since 6 years now. But Milei, one of the campaign promises, is that he is going to eliminate such cap. Is called the cepo in Argentina, so eliminate the cepo. But the thing is that the Milei's strategy, he wants to eliminate the gap between the official exchange rate and the black market exchange rate. This is something that in Argentina is called as dollar blue. So what they want to do is when it's already, close, that gap is very narrow, and they want to keep eliminating liabilities from the central bank and the Argentinian government in order to just release the cepo, this cap of exchange rate. Right now, what Argentina is doing and Milei's government is doing, they are doing something called a crawling peg. Basically, putting the official rate in order to exchange the local currency to USD, just very close to the out of the counter, the black market, the quote-unquote dollar blue exchange rate, in order to keep up some stability. And lastly, we have to talk about a sad news going on in Argentina. Where after 10 days, we had a national emergency, a flood in a city called Bahía Blanca, that apparently on just one day, on 8 hours, the rain levels that this city took, it was closer than the same amount of rain that the city used to take on a whole year. And the consequences have been dire. Basically, most of the city, 70% of the city has been flooded. So most of the properties over there have some damage, structural damage, due to the flood. Around 16 people have been dead and several others are missing right now. And of course, the situation is dire. Milei himself visited Bahía Blanca last week, and also the economy minister Caputo, he mentioned that it's going to be some package, an aid package, in order to try to cover the damage for this thing. So hopefully, I pray for the people in Bahía Blanca that everything is going to be well, and we are going to see better days for the people in Bahía Blanca. Well, that will be all for today. We don't usually do, Milei this week, just like we do Trump this week. But what we're going to try to do from now on is keep an eye on Argentina, because Argentina is a country that generates a lot of news. And let's say maybe every couple of weeks, let's do one of these reviews of everything that's going on down under Argentina. Thank you for watching Continental Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. And if you want to work with us, continentalinsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.